All right, guys, we just spent a couple hours in the yard doing some work, building the fence. Thank you, James, for the help. Now it's time to put his sight tape on. So this is the black gold verdict sight. It's a slider right here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna take a sticky note and we're gonna use the sight tapes that came with the sight. And we're gonna pick our speed based off him shooting through the chronograph, which is, I believe, 262. We're gonna mark up a sticky note and we're gonna put it on the slider with the speeds that are on this tape. We're gonna go out in the field and shoot it, and we're gonna make some slight adjustments with a pen on the sticky note to make sure we get it dialed in perfectly. And then we're gonna come back to these tapes and we're gonna see which speed sight tape correlates best with that sticky note. We'll cut that off, stick it on, and James will be dialed. So let's do it. All right, guys, so literally all you're gonna do is peel a sticky note off your notepad. And then we have this 262.5 tape that came with the black gold sight. I'm gonna start with that one to see where it puts us. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick the sticky note next to that sight tape. And then I'm gonna start at the 60 yard. And I'm gonna make a mark and I'm just write 60. And then I'm gonna do the same on 70, 80, 90, and then 100. We'll cut that off and stick it right on the sight tape there and right on the side of the sight and see what happens. All right, so we got James's sight rolled all the way up to where it would be if he wasn't gonna slide it. That's obviously key. We've got our sticky note marked up, 60 through 100. And the reason we started with 60 is so we can put it on the 60 pin on this red marker. So we know we're starting off perfect. And we're just gonna slide it in like so. So that's perfect. And now we're good to go. So now we have a temp tape on there basically that we can use to mark everything up and get it perfect. And then when we're done, we'll come back and cut the right tape, the right sight tape, and stick it back on there. Should be good to go. All right, guys, so we shot James 60 pin downrange to make sure 60 was on before we stepped back to 70. So we got the tape on, moment of truth. All right, so we shot one at 70 and it was a little low. So we're gonna shoot one more and then adjust from there.
Low.
All right, let's make some adjustments.
So I'm gonna slide the rail.
Maybe between like 70 and 80.
Let's probably set it right about there.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean.
All right, guys, so what we're doing is we made sure he was dialed at 60, which he was. We stepped back to 70 and we shot 2 arrows. Both of them are low. So now we slid his indicator down between 70 and 80 on the post-it note. We'll shoot. Once we get dialed in, we'll make a mark with a pen, a different color, and then we'll know after we shoot some more distances what sight tape to use. I heard foam. How's it look?
It looks pretty good. Just 2 o'clock on the white.
So let's shoot another one to confirm.
Okay. Hard to tell. I think that's right in the middle.
All right, now we stepped back to 80. Still shooting a little high at 70, but he was just below the line we started with, so that tape's looking like it's pretty dang close, but we'll see what 80 does here and then we'll have a better idea.
So about 80 yards out, it's probably about 10 o'clock. A little bit of a bad shot. I think I pulled it a little bit. It's probably 4 or 5 inches outside of the circle. So.
And a touch high?
Touch high, yeah. It's not quite as high as it was when we were shooting at 70, but.
Let's shoot another one and see what you do.
Yeah. I think that's in the white, so let's go check it out. Yeah, so when I first got my bow, I'd go out and I would try to sight in and I would shoot a bunch at 20 yards and then 30 yards, and by the time I got out to 40, I was just so gassed that it was really hard to kind of fine tune it. So I think it's good to just stop for a minute and take a break and then maybe even come back another day to make sure you're shooting fresh and getting some good clean shots, because especially at that distance, from what I'm learning, not really used to shooting that far, little errors can make it fly a lot different. So
oh yeah, you got one on the white. I'd say you're 80. Those two are pretty dang close.
yeah, I mean, probably what, 4 or 5 inch group at 80 yards. I mean, I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, that's a great group at 80.
We'll see if just coming back with a little more energy and refreshed, maybe I can, who knows, maybe the group will be shooting a little different, I don't know. But I'm happy with that, especially first time shooting at that distance. So
All right, guys, we're back at it. It's been a few days since we shot initially. I personally think it's best to take your time doing this so you're not worn out when you get your sight tape going. So anyway, we got 70 and 80 established pretty good last round. We're gonna double check those 2 pins, and then we're gonna drop back to 90 and 100 and get this sight tape dialed in tonight, hopefully.
couldn't tell where it landed, but it sounded good. She's dialed. You want to know the funny thing, Ian?
You're on the red.
I'm on the red.
Okay, let's go back to 80.
Yeah, so that tells you, I think, that I was off.
Just a touch.
With my shooting on the last round, so see how this looks.
All right, we just shot 70. It was money. Now we stepped back to 80, so we're gonna see where this pin lands. Hopefully it's dead on, with any luck.
Height-wise, I think it's good. It's a little left, which I think is probably just more my shooting than anything.
Yeah, it's a little windy. I'd say at this distance, if your elevation is there, then we'd be more worried about left to right at like 40 yards, you know, a little closer.
Yeah.
Sling another one at 80. Heard the foam. That's always a good start.
That's low.
How low?
Probably 5 inches, probably.
Okay.
I'm gonna shoot one more and just see. Also, the first arrows I've shot today, so
Yeah. It's quite
I don't normally jump straight back to 80 yards.
Yeah. Okay. Sling another one.
Make sure I'm not.
Do you want some taquitos while they're out?
I'm okay, thank you, though.
Dad, do you want some?
No, thank you, sweetie.
That one was low again, I think. Let's go take a look. We had one at 70 that was sitting high into the right. I adjusted that tape back up to the red line, which is different than where we had it at when we marked it when we were shooting last time. So we'll see how that changes with the 80 pin that we had dialed in. I thought we did. All right, so we shot at 70 and we made these marks here. We had originally used a 262.5 feet per second tape and marked the red lines. Then we went in and it field adjusted with the black lines. They seem to be shooting a little low. It looks like it's more on with the red markings, which is the 262 tape. The last 3 arrows that I shot at 80, I used the black mark that we used last week, and it seemed to be shooting low. I don't know if that's just me shooting or the wind or what. So we're gonna try another 3 arrows at the red mark and see where it lines up.
Heard foam.
sun's not hitting it anymore, so I can't see. I think that's in the white, honestly.
Good.
So we just shot one arrow. It looks like it's right in the white, so if it is, I think I'm just gonna call that good at 80, and it's right on that red line, so it's lining up real good with that sight tape. Move back to 90 and see how that one's gonna shoot, and then I gotta, unfortunately, re-sight in all my 50, 40, 30, 20.
Oh yeah.
That looks pretty good to me.
That's a dart.
So I think we'll call that good at 80.
Nice shot, buddy.
Well, I'm a little nervous here. Hoping that my fletching doesn't hit my sight and deflect my arrow into Steve's house, but
We got insurance.
yeah, let's see what happens.
First arrow at
I'm
90.
optimistic. I might let the wind die down just a skosh here because it's blowing pretty good. It's probably blowing the other direction down at the target. This is 90, so see what happens here.
All right, first one at 90. Hopefully it's the only one we need. I heard foam.
Is that foam or a tree?
I think it was the mini elk is what I think I heard.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I blew his leg out.
Yeah.
I moved it up just a touch. Let's just see if that's me or if that's moving that up made a difference.
Okay. I heard foam.
So that one's to the right.
How much? A couple inches?
No, further than that. I think it's just bad shot.
Let's
You know,
shoot
any
him.
little thing about being a bad shot at 90 yards, you can really see.
Yeah.
So let's do another one.
It's 3 in the foam.
So that one's like right next to that first arrow.
You want to shoot another one?
Let's fling it on.
Okay.
Part of me
There you
is
go.
wondering if just kind of more punching the trigger than anything. I don't know. They're not feeling very clean, but you know the white
That's a
white dot's the same size as my pin, so
Yeah.
you can't even see it.
yeah.
But it's also they're low.
Okay. Let's shoot one more and then we can go grab them. I see them. They're all together.
Yeah, except for one's like 3 o'clock on the edge of the dot or the dice. I think that was pretty good, but
Let's go grab them.
that one was not good. It was high.
All right, guys, you can see this is a process, and that's why we take our time. And I believe shooting your sight in with a sticky note is more time consuming for sure, but it's the way to go because you're actually shooting your distances in and marking them. So we'll get there. We've gotten better. Hopefully this next round we'll get this 90 pin dialed and we'll be ready to put James' sight tape on. All right, we're back to 90. James' last 4 arrows hit that bottom target. They were a touch right, but we're close. So hopefully this is our last round at 90 and we can get that sight tape on. Foam.
It's right, dude.
It's weird that they're consistently right. The elevation's good.
Yeah, but none of the other arrows at any of the other distances were winding up right.
No, they
So
weren't.
It's something I'm doing, obviously. That's pin, that's white high, 3 o'clock. 3 inches.
Is your bubble level on your sight before you shoot?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the checklists that I go through. And
yeah.
You know, obviously once I start kind of trying to hone in on my target.
Yeah, then you just let the arrow go.
Yeah, I just kind of let it go. And
Maybe,
but I think also turning my arrow on my knock has made a little bit of difference. It must have been hitting something.
Yeah.
To miss that much. It's so cool watching it fly that far. Right again. Just a little high, but I mean.
Well, I think we got the right. We have the right mark on the post-it note.
I think we got the right site picked out.
Yeah. 70, 80, 90, the elevations are perfect. You're just a little right for at 90 for whatever reason, so we can.
And that's just, operator error probably.
They weren't right at 70 and 80 though, so.
That's low.
All right, guys, so here's where we are. The 70, 80, and 90 pin, as far as elevation goes, is perfect in my opinion. 70 and 80 yards, his left to right, was money. Elevation was money. Now that we're back to 90, elevation seems to be really good. He's, you know, some of them are perfect elevation-wise. Some of them are a touch low, a touch high, like right in that nice little medium area, kind of a good balance from that distance. But for some reason, he's missing a little bit right at that distance. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna come back to 20, 30, 40, 50, make sure those pins are on, and see if he's maybe missing a touch right at those closer yardages. And if he is, then we'll make an adjustment to the whole site to get that right air hopefully dialed in a little bit better. But as far as the tape goes, elevation wise, I think we got the right one picked out, so that's a bonus.
48. So we moved my whole sight down, so I'm gonna aim at that bottom target. See what happens.
All right, guys, so we're back to 50 yards now. We're gonna dial these pins in. Obviously that 60 pin's already set. That's our floating pin, but we're gonna double check his intermediate pins. Touch right.
Yeah.
That's good though. That means we just gotta move your sight over a touch and you should be good at 90 as well. So I'm just glad it wasn't left.
That would have
Elevation
that
looks,
would have been me laying in bed going, what in the hell is going on here?
elevation though looks perfect. All right, one more update. We made one more adjustment to the right. We're right on 5 now on his cross rail. Still seem to be just a touch right on most of the shots, so this should bring us right in there hopefully. James has shot a ton of arrows tonight though, so this is probably going to be it for tonight, and maybe we'll fine tune one more time before we head out to the Northwest Mountain Challenge this
Maybe
year.
fling one more at 90 and see if it's still shooting right.
Yeah, yeah, we probably should see if it made a difference.
Yeah,
it should.
What's the worst that could happen? I lose another arrow.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Another couple at 40. All right, guys, I think you get the gist. We got a little bit of adjusting to do as far as left to right goes. James has shot a ton of arrows today though now at these closer yardages, so we're not gonna mess with anything else as far as left to right goes. But we know elevation wise, he's money. So we're gonna slap that sight tape on, and we'll probably shoot one more time before we head up to the shoot this year, just to make sure his left to right is where it needs to be, so we don't go lose a bunch of arrows. But yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from this. We'll put that tape on and show you that real quick and call it a video. All right, guys, so we got the sight tape figured out. We started with the sticky note. We started with 262.5 based off the chronograph. In my experience, the tape is always slightly slower in FPS than what you're shooting through the chronograph. James's bow shoots around 265, so we picked the 262.5 sight tape, and it just so happens to be that we picked the right one, luck of the draw the first time. So now we're going to take the sticky note off, make sure his sight is slid all the way up. We'll cut this out and we'll stick it on, and he'll be good to go. So let's do that real quick. Alright guys, so obviously it's key that you make sure you have your sight rolled all the way up before you put your sight tape on. So we know we're all the way up, and we'll lock it in, and then we'll peel this sticky note off and put the sight tape on. You gotta find this guy again, I keep losing it. Alright guys, we got the tape cut out, so now I'm going to cut this row of numbers off. That's just my preference. And then we'll also cut the 50 through 20 off, because we don't need that. Obviously we have pins for those elevations, so we'll just cut it off right above 60. And then we're going to cut just the numbers off this right side. Like so, and then we'll stick this bad boy on. Done deal.